Today we explore the remains of a massive abandoned resort in Florida. This location was opened in 1969 as a mega resort for traveling families coming to see the new Disney theme parks. With 46 buildings, over 900 rooms, and plans to build a 500-foot Sky Needle within the first 4 years of the hotel's completion, this property was one of the largest resorts in Orlando for its time. But even with these impressive numbers and ambitious goals, the resort was one of the first hotels in the area to go bankrupt after the opening of Walt Disney World. Join us as we take you through the decaying halls of this once great resort and explore the unique story of how something so grand became lost to time. This is like where all the hotel's utilities were. Looks like some sort of office for the property. It was the water management permit dated in 1993. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff has been here for quite a while. And this brochure says the Hyatt Orlando, and that was one of the first companies, I believe, to actually take possession of this hotel. I don't think they were the original owners, but I think they bought it from a developer. This would have been like the property. You can see some clusters here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the main hall. I think that's the entire complex. Now we're coming out of the vegetated area into what looks like our very first cluster of hotel rooms. If we can get into there, to that point there, we probably won't have much trouble being spotted, as I think security only does like perimeter checks. I like seeing how overgrown like the vines are on the walls. You can see this place hasn't been tended to in a while. Alright, definitely gonna need a respirator for in here. Look at that, there's still like
You could stay in here.
yeah, there's like
Stay in here.
it's like all the furnishings left behind still. TV's kinda knocked over, but you can see. Oh, here's like the master. So I guess this was like a 2-bedroom, or maybe conjoined.
Oh, look at this, the daily room.
Upon its opening in 1969, the resort lost $2.2 million in its first operating year, and another $2 million in its second. With the owners unable to cover their losses, they sold the property to Hyatt in 1972. Hyatt rebranded the property as the Hyatt Orlando Resort, seeing great success as guests hit record numbers during its grand reopening later that summer. Now we're in the center of one of those figure-8 courtyards. Unfortunately, Hyatt would soon go on to declare bankruptcy in 2003, leaving the resort empty. The property was eventually bought by a private developer in 2004, who had plans to turn the resort into a mega tower with observation floors that looked out into the Disney parks as well as the surrounding area. See a bunch of these maids carts here with stuff still on them. Little bottles of sanitizer, garbage bags, all hurtled here in this corner. We're currently right here in this cluster, and there's still like a whole other bunch of clusters and the main building, which we're gonna try and get into. Our strategy for evading security was to move through the hotel room clusters to eventually make our way into the main building. So I think we've arrived in what used to be the gym here. That was probably like an office building there, but you can see like the elliptical. And some of the equipment that used to be used. So dated, this equipment. Like you don't see these machines anywhere but garage sales nowadays. Very old school. Look at this place. You can see the old trellis work and fencing for the restaurant, still in really good shape. Still see all the shelving and displays and refrigerative units are all still here. They had like a nice window display there that got, part of it got smashed. I just can't believe that pretty much everything is still here. After sitting vacant for nearly 3 years since it was purchased in 2004, the developers signed a deal with a hotel management company named Lexington, who would go on to open a few of the hotel room clusters along with the main building and its amenities such as this gift shop in 2007. They hoped that this would bring in both funding and interest for their grand Sky Tower plan. Throughout its next year or so of operation, the resort performed poorly. Failed to draw in traffic from its competitors, and with half of the resort being vacant while the other half left a construction site, the curb appeal of this once monster mega resort was now lacking.
An old Disney display. It's kind of stiffened, but probably would have had some merch or something because we are relatively close to Disney. You can see how decrepit it is now. My mask off now. And holy, look at how massive this main lobby is. And you can see the restaurant still has all its furniture. Sometime around 2010, the developer couldn't raise the funding necessary to complete his plans, and the resort was sold to Ramada with its name being changed one final time to the Ramada Inn Orlando. Oh, and they had a sort of kitchen, or kitchenette, probably where they stored cups and plates in here. Damn. Look at this place. You can see just how decayed it is now. Holy, this probably would have been a very nice restaurant at one point. You can see all this is natural light coming from those frosted glass skylights up top. So they probably didn't even need much natural lighting during the day. And each one of these was a palm tree that would grow almost to the height of the light. Gotta be careful with these floorboards. It looks like a lot of them are bowed, but the only plants left alive are these fake ones now. Would have been nice to come in here and dine with your family under this little makeshift trellis. Looks like they had more comfortable, probably preferred seating up here. And it overlooked the entire buffet and rest of the seating area. So this was back when they had the branding of the Orlando Suns. This was probably potentially a recent addition. And look at this, it's like a old ice cream parlor. I love all the vintage signing. Very neat. On the floor, there's tons of pizza boxes just scattered about. Kids have gotten in here, just destroyed everything. Appetizers, wings, kids' meal, pizza, sandwiches, salads. And then you'd come over here for a nice ice cream at the end. Large ice cream sign there. There still is so much left behind here. Got these colored heating lights here, heating lamps. Probably to use that for the hot displays here. I had some pizza or some slices or something. And they had these stickers that would tell you when it goes bad or how long it's good to sit out for. All of these refrigerators are sadly smashed, but you can see what they would have sold here. Water, Coca-Cola down there. And then, holy, look at all these pizza boxes. They probably had them lined up all along those shelves there for the customers when they ordered. And this was probably frozen goods or whatever, ready-made sandwiches or something. No frosted cocktails left anymore. So this right here was the buffet type of area. This is probably in the restaurant where the guests would come up, grab a plate. I think this restaurant was more seafood oriented. You can kind of see there's some Some sort of fish netting here. I think back in the day they had like lobster displays, stuff like that. So it would have been a relatively nice place to eat. Now it's just completely come apart. And the Paradise Cafe. You can see this would have been some sort of manager's computer here, and they actually ripped down this whole wall here. This area down here, you can see most of the tables are almost set up and ready to go, as if nothing happened, just waiting to be dressed. Flyers and stuff. Sort of in the front desk. Our guests would check in. You can see it still has the original carpeting here. And there it is. You can see Orlando Celebration Resort, one of the many names this place had. This is very cool. You can see on the daily, holy. It says total rooms in hotel 919 in 2012. Rooms occupied 2. For the month it was 23. Geez, so you can see here their capacity was definitely short. You can see these palm trees haven't been groomed in a while. 2 of them are dead, but this one still looks fairly green at the tips. That one actually has grown up through the skylight, which is kind of interesting to see. Then behind me here we have a bar. See like the beer taps here. The bar area for the patrons would have had much nicer tables with this sort of like welded iron and glass countertop. And back into this back room over here. Test tubes where they had probably put shots in. Yeah, look, and you can see where they stored their liquors. Whiskey, scotch, bourbon. And then this right here is behind the bar.
What's up, y'all? It's Ray J. Check it out. May 27th, I'm going to be at the Orlando Sun Resort. Keep that date locked, because you know when we get to town, you know what it is. You know what's going to pop off.
We went up these stairs into what I think probably was like a dancing area or a club. They did boast that they had a club in this hotel, and it looks a lot like a dance floor. Some booths here. And a bunch of furniture stacked up. Oh yeah, look at the rigging on the ceiling here with the lights. This was probably that they advertised as a club. Oh, this is like the kitchen back here. Turn on my light. Holy. This place has been run through. Look at this. This is like a popcorn trolley that they had. They still have all the hardware here. Oh, the old fountain machines. The old soda fountain. Looping around the other side here, you can see like the grills just completely caked in grease, and it looks like one of them spilt recently. Here you can see some of the plates and how they do their plating here for each individual sandwich. They probably had more continuing past this fourth one here, but they probably got ripped off. Holy. The kitchen just keeps on going. This would have been a dishwashing machine right here. These are like industrial size. This is crazy. Somebody tipped over that giant counter there, but look at all this. I'm so surprised this is all just sitting here. Like ovens. They still have all the pots and pans hanging up on that little hook there. Oh my god, yeah, look at all the plates. And all these brown trolleys were like full of them too.
After exchanging so many hands with little to no improvement, this resort just couldn't keep up with its competitors. A steady pattern of buying, cutting corners, losing money, and eventually selling had hurt the resort's reputation beyond repair.
Holy, these hallways just keep on going here. That goes so deep. How many convention centers are there? Oh yeah, look at this. Just a big open venue room. And Jake. You can see for size comparison, Jake in the corner there.
As the Ramada Inn racked up several health and safety violations in 2011, it was soon after shut down in late 2012, never to reopen.
You can see they had 3 different venue rooms. Paradise A, B, and C. Well, let's go see what's inside Paradise A. Holy, this is huge. And look at the chandeliers up top, too. Or the lighting fixtures. Oh, I think this is all 3 venues combined. They probably had partitions that would come out of there to... Oh, yeah. You can see the partition walls that would come and separate the halls if they needed to have more than one different event. Whatever was set up here was the last banquet that was ever held at this hotel before it closed. It's almost eerie just seeing a giant empty banquet room with the chairs and everything just laid out astray. on this curved stairwell. You can see some kids have just stuffed chairs into the walls here. And it was definitely very disorienting. Damn, this schematic is huge.
It's enormous, huh?
You can see just like all the clusters in the main building. I mean, on this, it looks a lot more condensed than it actually is.
In 2014, the property was put up for sale, listed as a turnkey resort for a steep price of $77 million. But when no offers were made on the property, it was taken off the market and has sat abandoned ever since. Now the property is left unmaintained, slowly decaying beyond repair. It would appear that this once mega resort's days of being a vacation getaway for families have certainly come to pass.